Okay, so today I have two questions for you. The first one is, are you a Woolworths or Coles person? And the second one is, would you rather go for a walk or go bungee jumping? People have these pre-made decisions and believe that their identities provide a meaning-making anchor. So if you already had an answer to those questions, welcome to your identity. Because of our identities, people know who they are and the choices they will make. Whether they are large or small, they will always feel identity-based. Identity is who we are or our qualities that makes us different from others. Identity is quite an amazing gift from the world, but learning other identities is a bit more amazing. Hello, my name is Chloe and I'm a pre-service teacher, and today we'll be looking at the concept of our identity. Now, Doug Cooper says that identity cannot be found or fabricated, but comes within when people learn to let go. Today we will compare two different artworks by two artists to illustrate what it means to have an identity and how diverse the identities in this world are. In an interview by Lee Dirac in 2004, Vicky asks why people got problems in the first place. And she realizes it's because of dislocation, displacement, and dispossession, which comes back to identity and knowing who we are. Lee then says, and so art is a way of people finding out who they are. Aboriginal identity has been defined in diverse ways since colonisation. Today, through the bureaucratic concept of Aboriginality, Aboriginal people are generally perceived as having greater self-deterministic possibilities for identity construction. Now, art is revealed as intrinsic to the survival of Aboriginal identity and well-being in the region. It's a creation by the artist and tells us about the way they perceive the world they live in. Indigenous artwork can be read as a powerful reminder by Indigenous people of their unique culture and identity, and these practices are connected to the sustainability of culture. You're probably wondering how identity relates to being a teacher. Parker J. Palmer says that good teaching cannot be reduced to technique. Good teaching comes from the identity and integrity of the teacher. The concept of identity relates to who we are and how we teach. However, a massive focus is on the different identities that will be in our classroom. It is recommended that we read our students before they enter the classroom and that we give the impression that we want to teach for years. This is because as teachers we must give students the opportunity to belong. We let their identity and culture be who they are in classrooms and improve our knowledge on each child's identity. Because a better understanding of the identities in the classroom improves your teaching practices. The two pictures are two different perceptions of Australia because of the identity the artists have formed. The first picture on the left is from an Indigenous artist in Australia, and the second picture is from an unknown British artist. It's interesting because, as we know, land is a part of the Indigenous identity and culture, and that is evident in the left source. And some may believe that colonisation and industrialisation is a part of the Briton identity as well, which can be seen in the right source. It's quite amazing that just from one picture it can say so much about one's identity. Identity in art says a lot about the artist, their culture, and their community. It's also a story on who they are. In your classroom, you might have students with a British background or students with an Indigenous background, and it is important that you consider the cultural identities in your classroom all the time. Here I have a small activity that I tested on a group of friends. I gave them instructions to draw a rectangle, a square, a circle in the rectangle, and 4 love hearts. It was really interesting because they looked totally different. I don't have time to show it today, but can you imagine how you would draw this? And do you think yours would be different to other people's? Now, the artworks that everyone would draw would have been really different. It doesn't really tell us a story, but it shows us how diverse we really are. If we are just different in the way we draw rectangles, then imagine how different we really are. Identity has no rules or guidelines, and it is just a meaning-making anchor we use every day to guide us to our pathways in life. Identity is who we are and is what makes our story. Hopefully today I showed you the courage to let go. You found out who you can be and the characteristics you hold, but also you discovered that not all identities are the same and our world is very diverse. You visualized the identity you have, the ones around you, and the Indigenous identity as well. I hope you have noticed that the arts in the Australian curriculum is so important for the students and important for us as well today. We were able to connect and learn through an art form without even knowing. I'd like to leave you with one more quote. Unlike a drop of water which loses its identity when it joins the ocean, man does not lose his identity being in the society in which he lives. Man's life is independent. He is born not for the development of the society alone, but for the development of himself.